This is a big win for India as a country. For a decade, India was pursuing this. Ever since the parliament attacks, Masood Azhar, the man you see on your television screen, was the one responsible for the attack on the Indian parliament in December 2001, along with the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Remember, this terrorist unfortunately had to be released when IC-814 was hijacked in December 1999. And ever since he went to Pakistan, this Pakistani terrorist has been responsible for a series of terror attacks in India. He raised a terrorist organization called Jaish-e-Mohammed. Now, this is a terrorist organization that was trained, armed, funded and launched by the Pakistan Army and the ISI. And as Ambassador Kanwal Sibal, former Foreign Secretary of India, was also telling us that this terrorist organization and this man was responsible for a series of terror attacks in India, including the recent terror attack in Pathankot, on the Pathankot air base. Some of his terrorists were responsible for other attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. Along with the Lashkar-e-Taiba, they launched a series of hybrid attacks on Indian soil. I also want to bring in, so joining us now on the broadcast is Hamza Amir from Pakistan, Geeta Mohan, our Foreign Affairs editor, with us on the broadcast, and Editor Defense Abhishek Bhalla. But Hamza Amir, I want to come to you first. What does this mean for Pakistan that you have more than 100 entities designated as terrorists, but two of them are principal, Lashkar-e-Taiba's Hafiz Saeed and Jaish-e-Mohammed's Maulana Masood Azhar. Maulana Masood Azhar, Hamza, designated as a global terrorist today.
Well, Gaurav, it is in fact, a big victory for India. But as far as my sources in the Pakistan government are concerned, they have confirmed that China was in consultation with Pakistan before backing out of their objection, as they have been doing in the past 4 times, when they actually were the ones who stopped his listing into the UNSC's terror list. This time, Pakistan gave a nod to China that fine, we are okay with it, you can back out of your objection, and we are okay with listing Masood Azhar into the UNSC's list. Now, going forward, Hafiz Saeed is on the same list as well. He is not under arrest in Pakistan. He is not even taken into custody of the Pakistani authorities. So you don't see too much happening when it comes to Masood Azhar also. While not to forget, during the Pathankot investigation, Masood Azhar was taken into custody of the Pakistani authorities. And recently, you heard our Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi also stating on foreign media that he is very much under Pakistan's custody and he is not well. He was the one who revealed that. So this time now, because he is on the UNSC's terror list, Pakistan will have to take tangible actions which are visible to the world, that they have now gone ahead and respected UNSC's decision to list Masood Azhar on the terror list.
Which Pakistan hasn't done. Hamza, stay with me. Will this have any ramifications, any impact on Imran Khan, especially at a time when the Financial Action Task Force is keeping a hawk eye on Pakistan, and Pakistan is on the verge of bankruptcy? But before we talk about that, I want to go to Abhishek Bhalla. And Abhishek, explain to our viewers India's relentless pursuit to have this man designated as a global terrorist. Maulana Masood Azhar, big day for India. He's been designated a global terrorist, Abhishek.
Definitely, Gaurav, India has been on Masood Azhar's trail for very long now. In fact, he was arrested in the mid-90s in Kashmir, and after that he was interrogated by various intelligence agencies, Jammu and Kashmir police, and later he was released. We all remember the IC-814 hijacking, a big turning point as far as terror activities and India-Pakistan relations are concerned. And ever since then, he was released from the Tihar jail in Delhi and he was sent back to Pakistan, and since then he's been orchestrating attacks after attack, and there is a long list. The most recent one is the Pulwama attack in South Kashmir, where 40 CRPF men were killed. That's the turning point, Gaurav, what I have been told. Because this is the time when India gave fresh evidence. China had been a stumbling block. The allegation against India was that whatever we've produced, this is old evidence, but this was the time, for the first time, India managed to give new evidence in the dossiers that were provided. And that was very, very clinching. And what sources are saying is that this was the turning point, and it was because of the fresh evidence provided after the Pulwama attack of Hafiz Saeed, of Maulana Masood Azhar, sending in cadres after cadres to Kashmir. That's what nailed him.
It indeed did. But Hamza, will Pakistan be forced to act against this Maulana of terror? Pakistan did not act against Hafiz Saeed, but just now you have the Financial Action Task Force, which is keeping a hawk eye on Pakistan.
Well, you're right. In fact, not only the Financial Action Task Force, the International Monetary Fund, on which Pakistan is banking on to bail itself out of its financial crisis, is also in Pakistan. It's also keeping a very close eye on how Pakistan is moving forward. So diplomatically, I think it is India's victory and Pakistan's massive loss at the UNSC. But talking on ground, Hafiz Saeed, as I told you, is still not under arrest by the Pakistani authorities. So you would not think of Masood Azhar also, going for an immediate action by the Pakistani forces. Now, what's interesting is that even on the Hafiz Saeed case, Pakistan has always maintained that there is not enough evidence to act against him. Even though he's on the list of UNSC's terror list, even though he has a $10 million bounty on his head, yet Pakistan claims that the law of the land needs to actually establish the evidences against Hafiz Saeed to arrest him. And I think it is going to be the similar or identical course for Masood Azhar as well. Pakistan is still going to be talking on the dossiers. Pakistan maintains that there is more evidence that is required on the Pulwama attack for them to act against Masood Azhar.
But somewhere down the line, Hamza, Pakistan needs to realize that Pakistan is getting isolated. Recently, at the Belt and Road Initiative meet, except Ethiopia and maybe one more country, no one was willing to meet Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan. He sought a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. That didn't happen, but I want to quickly bring in noted defense expert from Pakistan, Qamar Cheema. Qamar Cheema Saab, Maulana Masood Azhar has been designated a global terrorist. One more slap on Pakistan's face, sir.
I think this is the commitment of Pakistan's new government, Imran Khan, that Pakistan's soil will not be used against any country. And I think Pakistan has fulfilled its commitment as per the international law and as per the international norms. We are committing to the global community and we are committing to our own people, and we want to take in confidence our regional allies that let's fight against terror together, and this is message for India as well.
Sir, if you want to fight terrorists together, put this man in jail, arrest him, prosecute him, register an FIR. Kab tak goli doge duniya ko? Nobody is buying your goli anymore.
I think this is not job.
Sir, it is such a slap on Pakistan's face that 100+ terrorist entities on Pakistani soil have been designated global terrorists, including Masood Azhar today and Hafiz Saeed earlier.
I think this is not the slap. This is the rule of law which has been established. This is the values with which we stand with, and I think this is the job of the courts, and this is not job of your and mine. We don't do this kind of unconstitutional things. We will go with the Constitution. If he has done something wrong, he will be booked, he will be punished, and he will be hanged. If he has done something.
He will be hanged,
that,
really?
I think we must not give judgment.
Sir, in your own country, you know it, Qamar Cheema. Qamar Cheema, I am saying this for the benefit of viewers who do not know. Maulana Masood Azhar, incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, was the man who was also responsible for an assassination attempt on a Pakistani president who went by the name of Parvez Musharraf. Qamar Cheema, you know that. Jaish-e-Mohammed tried to assassinate General Parvez Musharraf, and you took no action against Masood Azhar, even then.
I think those elements who have been the splinter elements from the JEM, they have done this, but we have yet to establish, and if the government establishes that, they will punish it. But let's wait for what the court's verdict comes. Let's wait what the institutions come up. Let's not give our own judgment sitting in the studios. Let's not be the warmongers while sitting in the TV
Sir, warmongering कौन कर रहा है? Sir, warmongering तो
the court decides.
आपका देश तो आतंकवाद के खिलाफ कार्रवाई करता नहीं.
And I'm asking you to cool down.
सर, हम लोग तो कूल हैं. हमारे ही एक्शन, इंडिया के ही एक्शन से तो हुआ ही है. सर, इंडिया के ही एक्शन से तो मौलाना मसूद अजहर has been designated a global terrorist. You're higher than mountains and
This is not
deeper
about
than sea,
India and
friend.
Pakistan.
China is
This
not
is
standing
about
by
the
you
rule of
anymore.
law.
Kamarchi
I
Sahab.
think if Pakistan can stop anything, yes, I can hear. If Pakistan would request anything to China, and that is as per the law, China will listen to Pakistan. But I think at this moment, the new government in Islamabad has decided to go with the helping our neighbors, to go with the rule of law. So that is why Jaish-e-Mohammed's leader is not being stopped by the China if the Security Council puts him under sanctions.
Sir, let us hope your government takes action against him, but stay with me. Kamarchima, don't go away. Abhishek Bhalla, my colleague, is also with me. And Abhishek, take our viewers through the kind of relentless effort made by government of India, because this had become a national mission, from the Ministry of External Affairs to the External Affairs Minister to the National Security Advisor to the Prime Minister. Also, not to forget our permanent representative at the United Nations, Syed Akbaruddin. He worked relentlessly to ensure that the world came together and isolate Pakistan and this Pakistani terrorist Masood Azhar.
Well, Gaurav, I have the dossier on Maulana Masood Azhar in front of us here, and this will give a sense to the viewers of what exactly he was up to and what is the evidence, what is the information the government of India had about Maulana Masood Azhar. And it says that, soon after his release, after the IC 814, JEM claimed its first attack, which was a suicide attack in an army cantonment in JNK in December 2000, and then subsequently it mounted another attack in the JNK Legislative Assembly in 2001. So he didn't wait too long before getting into action, and the series of terror attacks ever since then have continued. And in fact, we all know how the Indian Parliament was attacked after that, which was once again orchestrated by Maulana Masood Azhar, and he continued this. And even more recently, we know that how the Pathankot attack took place, where an airbase was hit by JEM terrorists. And of course, the most recent one is the Pulwama attack that this dossier also mentions. It says that within days of his, it says that since the JEM has carried out a number of attacks, the recent being the attack on CRPF convoy in Methpura, Pulwama, the big clinching factor, Gaurav, because this is where India put together new evidence to nail Masood Azhar. And another big...
साहब, बहुत खून बहाया भारतीयों का इस आदमी ने, बहुत खून बहाया, and enough is enough. Your government may not have taken action, but India mobilized the world to ensure action was taken against this Maulana of terror, Masood Azhar. If only Pakistan had done it when India first raised this point in 2001, sir.
Well, I think the dossiers which came from India after the Pulwama incident, those dossiers didn't prove that Maulana Masood Azhar or his organization was involved, because you did not have the substantial evidence. All what were the hunches which are coming from your government and your foreign office. I think Pakistan has moved forward, and I think this is the job which has been done by the Pakistan's foreign office, and I think the act of diplomacy as well, that we stand with the global norms. We have supported international community eliminating terrorism, and if any organization using Pakistan territory, this will not be spared. And I think we stood with our values, we stood with our commitment, and I think the world has witnessed our commitment against
Sir, आप लोग straight face से ऐसे बोल भी कैसे लेते हो? मतलब seriously, आप seriously ऐसे बोल भी कैसे लेते हो? हाफिज सईद आपकी धरती पर पाया जाता है, उसके खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई नहीं होती. That world's most wanted terrorist Osama bin Laden was killed in Abbottabad. Maulana Masood Azhar is in your territory. You still refuse to take action against him when the world has designated him a global terrorist. And आप बोलते हो Pakistan is taking action against terror.
Gaurav, India and you are not. Gaurav, India and you are not the judge and jury in this case. Let the courts be the judge. Let the courts decide, and let the prosecution finalize what they want to finalize. So
सर
let's not be
आप
the
ये
judge
तो
here.
मानोगे
Let's
कि
be the judge here.
यूनाइटेड
What we
नेशन
have-
सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल के 15 देशों ने 15 nations at the United Nations Security Council have said this man should be designated a global terrorist. You're higher than mountains, deeper than ocean. Friend, China has conceded that yes, this man should be designated a global terrorist. No more a technical hold on his designation a global terrorist. कोई तो बात होगी. अब तो इसको इन्वेस्टिगेट करके जेल में डालो.
Gaurav, you are absolutely talking right. This is the beauty of the Pakistan-China relations, that we will not stand against those people, or we will not stand with those people who are committing any crime. So it does not mean that China and Pakistan friendship, if we are the friends, we will commit any wrong, or we will stand with those organizations who are committing terror. If Pakistan has got a sufficient evidence, we will book JEM, we will book Maulana Masood Azhar. But I think that evidence will not come from India, because you did not give us evidence. That was the only rhetoric that came from your forum. The dossier the Pakistani Foreign Office received last time after the Pakistan bombed 2 planes of yours and captured your pilot.
सर अगर आप इसी तरह झूठ बोलते रहोगे तो आप कहां से एक्शन लोगे? फिर इंडिया विल हैव टू डू अनदर बालाकोट. इसमें तो दो राय नहीं है दैट इंडिया विल टेक केयर ऑफ आवर ओन पीपल. बट एक तो आप बात मानते हो दैट इट्स अ मेजर सेटबैक फॉर पाकिस्तान. द डेजिग्नेशन ऑफ मसूद अजहर एज अ ग्लोबल टेररिस्ट is नया पाकिस्तान of Imran Khan being exposed as Purana Pakistan. Kamar Chima sahab.
I think this is the commitment of Pakistan's government. And yes, I think this is the commitment of Pakistan's government to stand with the international values. I think this is not about, you just can't say that we have done this, India has done things. I think this is Pakistan and China who have been standing with the regional partners in eliminating terror. I think India should play its role now in
Sir, आज one Pakistani terrorist has been branded a global terrorist, and you are saying Pakistan stands in the war against terror. Why has Pakistan not acted against Masood Azhar so far, when Masood Azhar was directly responsible for an assassination attempt on Pervez Musharraf, who was then a sitting president and sitting army chief? मतलब इतना बड़ा ये आतंकवादी हो गया. जो सांप आपने पाला, if I may just quote what Hillary Clinton told you, that snake in your backyard was biting you and yet you were not taking action against him. ऐसे कैसे suicidal लोग हो आप?
I think the splinter groups who did such kind of crimes earlier by attacking General Musharraf and other crimes, they have met their fate. And this is what Pakistan stands with, that those elements who have committed any wrong, any crime, and stand with the terrorist organizations and forces, the state installations, they will face the justice, and they have faced justice. And let me show you once again, if Masood Azhar is found in anything and the courts decide, the state will not stand in between that.
Well, that remains to be seen.
The way we have had earlier.
So far, your country has taken no action against Hafiz Saeed, who was designated a global terrorist a decade ago. Your country has taken no action against Maulana Masood Azhar, who was responsible for many terror attacks in India and some in Pakistan, which is amazing. कि जिस सांप को आपने वर्षों तक दूध पिलाया, उस सांप ने आप ही को डसा और उसके बावजूद आपने उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई नहीं की. It's an amazing situation. But anyway, today even China has removed that block. And once again, I want to bring in my friend Abhishek Bhalla. Kamar Chima, stay with me. Stay with me, Kamar Chima, because today we want you to know where your country is complicit, where Pakistan, the Pakistani state, has blood on its hands. Let me quickly bring in Abhishek Bhalla. Abhishek, you've accessed that dossier that India shared with the entire civilized world, and that civilized world came together to designate Masood Azhar a global terrorist. Of course, Pakistan continues to seek more evidence, but take us through that dossier, Abhishek.
The most recent inputs that are part of this dossier, Gaurav, very, very significant. It says Masood Azhar has intensified his terrorist operations against the Indian government, security forces and civilians, predominantly in J&K. He has also broadened JEM's operational focus by joining Afghan Taliban in attacks against government and coalition forces in Afghanistan. This is something that did not come out in public domain till now, Gaurav. He's using Afghan Taliban. This is a big new evidence that India has provided to the world. It also further states that JEM is carrying out recruitment drives through its students. very, very significant again. Remember, it was a madrasa in Balakot which was being run, and it was hit by the Indian Air Force, and that madrasa, the Indian Air Force and Indian agencies believed was actually a terror camp which was being run in the garb of a madrasa. It was actually students over there who were being trained to become terrorists. It further says in recent years there has been a significant increase in enrollments in basic induction courses, religious programs and jihadi training courses organized by JEM at their markaz or centers in Pakistan, including various religious/jihadi courses at Bhawalpur, Punjab. Bhawalpur, Punjab is the headquarters of the JEM.
Stay with me, Abhishek. Bhawalpur है वो आतंकवाद का गढ़ जहां से मसूद अजहर अपना आतंक फैलाता था. And we'll tell you much more about this terrorist during the course of the broadcast. Joining me now on the broadcast is Sushant Sareen, a noted defense analyst. He works with the Observer Research Foundation, and Sushant Sareen keeps a hawk eye on terrorists in Pakistan. Sushant Sareen, for the benefit of our viewers, okay, before I go to Sushant Sareen, I want to bring in Ambassador Syed Akbaruddin on the broadcast, India's permanent representative to the United Nations. Ambassador, okay, I'm going to get that line in 30 seconds. I'm going to get that line because he's one person we really want to speak to. But Sushant Sareen, till I get Ambassador Akbaruddin, your take on the designation of Masood Azhar and India's efforts.
Gaurav, this was very long due, and it's good that it's happened at this point in time. I don't think it was a sustainable proposition for the Chinese to continue with the kind of technical hold they were putting on this issue. They were being completely disingenuous by putting that technical hold on all sorts of weird and bizarre kind of logic that they were giving, which was quite illogical, to put it very simply. So it's the good thing that they've done the right thing. Whatever the reasons for them doing the right thing, I think those are obvious. It was not a tenable proposition for them to continue with this anymore. I think the cost of seen to be supporting a terrorist like Masood Azhar were far greater than any benefit that they would have got by continuing to support him. So I think clearly they have taken a decision in their national interest and in a sense shafted it to the Pakistanis, who will have to now bear the consequences of having to crack down in a very significant way against Masood Azhar.
For 30 seconds.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.